Welcome back to Figs Talks Fights. I'm Brian Figueredo. Today we're going to get right into UFC 261, taking place tomorrow night in Jacksonville, Florida, in front of a sold-out stadium of fans. The pandemic's not over yet, but damn, Florida's going nuts. They're going wild. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. I'm not an epidemiologist, but a lot of people are going to have some of that good old freedom. And I know where I live here in Canada, man, that must taste so sweet. So, as long as you know what your risks are taking, game on, right? Okay, anyhow, we got a triple header title fight and a whole stack card to get into. So let's do this real quick. We got the main event, Kamaru Usman taking on Jorge Masvidal. We got the co-main event and the co-main event. I'm not sure the bout order yet. I believe the co-main event's actually going to be Zhang Yi, your strawweight champion, taking on former strawweight champion Rose Namajunas. And then you got Valentina Shevchenko, one of the baddest women on the planet, baddest people on the damn planet, okay? Taking on former strawweight champion Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade is coming off her debut at strawweight, taking out the number one contender, Caitlin Chukagian, with body shots. Damn, this is going to be great. So, let's get into it. First of all, look, using some new lighting today. Looks like shit? Let me know. Looks good? Let me know. Don't care? Don't say anything. We're going to move forward. So, main event. Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. How do you think, or how do I think this fight's going to go down? I'll tell you. In my opinion, which is really going to be weighted on how much you freaking care about it, watch UFC 251. And I'm pretty sure we got the results for tomorrow night, okay? Except Jorge Masvidal is going to be there going strong until the end of the fifth round. He's going to be, 15 pounds lighter, had an easy weight cut this time around, had to cut 20 pounds. But, I mean, before their initial fight, which I'll give you a bit of a backstory, was supposed to be Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, the debut of Fight Island, a.k.a. it's just Abu Dhabi, at UFC 251 last year. Gilbert Burns tests positive for COVID-19, I think 8 or 9 days before the fight. Give Jorge Masvidal a call. I'm pretty sure he said, slap me a few of them bills. Gets on a plane, cuts 20 pounds within 5 or 6 days. Okay, makes the weight, comes in there and puts on somewhat of a fight. It was not competitive, but 1 second, okay? Masvidal, he was getting Dustin Poirier ready for Dan Hooker prior to this fight. He already had Bo Nickel in camp, okay? High-level wrestler, working on his wrestling game. Was he 100% prepared? No, but he was at least on the path of preparation. So, I mean, and sometimes the shorter camp for these guys, it's better. I mean, a lot of their nerves are out of the way. I don't know if Jorge's one of those guys. I think he needs a lot of time to drill in everything that he needs to do to execute, and it's a tall order to take on a guy like Usman in 7 days. So, I think we're going to see pretty much the same thing, all right? Now, how can I say that just based on that? And look, I have the ultimate respect for Jorge Masvidal. In fact, I think he should have been the Strikeforce lightweight champion back in December 2010 when he took on Gilbert Melendez. Tight fight between the two of those guys. When I watched it live, I thought Masvidal won, Gilbert won. It's all in history. This is going back 10 and a half years now. But anyhow, nonetheless, I love Gamebred. I think he's an entertaining fighter. I think the guy's got knockout power clearly in both of his hands. He's got ferocity, and he comes to fight, okay? Especially since his Wonderboy Thompson fight back in November 2017. I mean, he's been a different guy going through the tills of the world. Everybody knows the Askren story, the BMF belt. You all know this. But anyhow, Kamaru Usman, look, he's coming off the wins from Jorge Masvidal, and I think about 8 or 9 weeks ago, he just fought Gilbert Burns, and he looked fantastic. Now, Gilbert Burns did crack Kamaru Usman in the beginning of that first round, got him dropped and hurt for a second, but Usman came back, took control of the fight, okay? Beat the shit out of Gilbert Burns' legs, eventually lands one of the stiffest jabs you'll see. Pretty obvious Trevor Whitman's working on that nice, long, straight jab right to the face, stiff. Everything that comes from, or everything behind that jab, he's in complete control of. So that's a tough range to get past. And look, back to the point with Masvidal, in their first fight, Masvidal did crack him a couple of times in the first round. Whether he was prepared for 25 minutes or not, you can't tell me Jorge Masvidal wasn't in shape to go hard for 5-10 minutes, okay? And he did so. I didn't see anything in that fight that gave me any evidence that Jorge Masvidal is going to win tomorrow night. But this is MMA. I don't want to make a pick. I just think this is more of the obvious here. I just want to see a great fight. And if Masvidal wins, wow. Truly, what a great story, success story. Pretty much been a career journey, man, that just all of a sudden found this resurgence at the end of, or what seems to be towards the end or latter end of his career right now. But anyhow, should be a good one. See what the hell happens. I expect Usman to retain. Jorge Masvidal can crack him clean. Can he put Usman away? I haven't really seen Usman too hurt before outside of the Gilbert Burns fight. We're going to see. We're going to find out. Co-main event, Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas. Man, oh man, this is probably the fight I'm looking forward to the most. Zhang Weili and Joanna Jędrzejczyk just about 14 months ago put on one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. By far the best female fight I've ever seen, okay? Now, I know a lot of people made me eat shit on this channel because I said I thought Joanna won that fight, but I did. I thought Joanna won that fight, okay? What rounds? I think it was 3 rounds to 2. I haven't recently watched it, so I don't want to talk too much shit here, but, okay? A lot of people were telling me, how the hell could you think somebody that looks like the Elephant Man won the fight? Because I thought Joanna outstruck her 3 rounds to 2. But, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Zhang Weili. If anything, I give her all the credit in the world. This woman has absolute ferocious power and tenacity. And I think that's what we're going to be looking at with her versus Rose. This is going to be power and tenacity versus speed and fluidity. Okay? Now, Rose Namajunas, she is your former strawweight champion. I mean, she knocked out Joanna Jędrzejczyk when Joanna was, okay, post-Ronda Rousey era and before Amanda Nunes took off, the pound-for-pound best women's fighter on the planet. Maybe it was Cyborg then, but anyhow, okay? At least in the UFC at that time, pound-for-pound best fighter that they had in the female divisions. Rose knocked her out in, 2.5 minutes? They had a rematch. She clearly won, I think 4 rounds to 1 on the judges' scorecards. Maybe Joanna could have taken 2 rounds away, but look, MMA math doesn't always work. So, we're going to see what the hell's going to happen. I mean, Rose is taking a little heat because of her better red than dead comment and everything's got to be political. We got to dive deep into the thoughts and it was from Lithuania and now she's talking about the CCP. I don't give a shit about any of that. Look, this is a professional mixed martial artist that fights in a cage. Whatever the hell she needs to do to motivate herself, just respect it and move on. But if you want to go on a keyboard and argue with 20 different strangers from around the world on how you didn't like that tone and how arrogant it is, fuck, it's 2021. Welcome to this shit. Ain't for me. You do you. But anyhow, should be a good fight. I don't even know who the hell to edge in this. Slightly, I do think Rose might win it, but I mean, Zhang Weili, considering what she went through with Joanna a year ago, or just 14 months ago, I should say, think about it. This was the beginning of March. So the COVID pandemic really hadn't hit the Western Hemisphere here as hard as it was in China. It was bad there. So literally, within 6 weeks, they moved Zhang Weili out of China into Thailand. COVID followed her there. Moved her from Thailand to UAE. COVID followed her there. From UAE to Las Vegas. Maybe he was in the building that night. Who the hell knows? But I mean, this is about a week or 2 before shutdown started to happen and life has been how we know it right now. But anyhow, Zhang Weili, I mean, talk about jet lag. Talk about not being at your best. There's some fighters, they miss 2 good nights of sleep. Their kids crying all night, eat a couple of bad meals, and boom, it throws off everything. The freaking tenacity. And I'm going to keep repeating the word tenacity because she completely defines it. To get in there with Joanna, take one, give one, take one, give one. If her timing truly was off in that fight, and that was just a fraction of who she can actually be, whoo, man, Rose has a hell of a fight ahead of her. And I mean, Zhang Weili, I should say. She is strong. She hits hard. But I mean, Rose is just so slick, so fluid, so calm. She is fun to watch. I mean, if you like anything that's technical, especially on the women's side, I mean, even her ground game. I mean, Rose, maybe she's not the greatest wrestler, so to speak, that transition between, standing in the ground. But I mean, technically, I think Rose has the edge. Does it mean anything? We're going to find out tomorrow. Now, Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. I don't know what to make of this fight. I really don't. I kind of feel like I'm writing Jessica Andrade off. She's 5'1". She did used to fight. She was fighting at 135 pounds in Strikeforce over 10 years ago. I mean, she has been around for a while. Okay? Came to the UFC at 135. They didn't have a 125 division. Lost a bunch of weight. Skinnied her ass down, cut a bunch of weight. She worked her way up to the title at 115 pounds and fought Rose Namajunas. Rose was winning 1.5 rounds until Jessica Andrade, I thought freaking Rose died at that moment. Dumps her on her head. Strong as hell, but we're talking about Valentina Shevchenko, okay? A lot of people aren't going to like it when I say this, but I thought Valentina Shevchenko beat Amanda Nunes. I think it was a card they had in Edmonton, September 2017. Which one was that? Either UFC, I think it was UFC 215, okay? Bunch of things fell apart before that, and that was the main event. Wasn't a big blockbuster, but still, tight fight. Look, Valentina Shevchenko, I mean, her last fight, she got taken down and controlled for a couple of rounds. But I mean, this is a whole different beast, okay? I think Valentina Shevchenko is going to keep her range well. She's going to pick Jessica Andrade on the feet. And I actually think this is probably going to be a 5-round fight. Winner most likely being Shevchenko. But, I mean, as far as I can't get a feel. I can't get a gauge on how the hell this fight's going to look. Which usually means it's the most exciting. Or it's going to be boring as fuck. One or the other. So, anything else on the card? I mean, Chris Weidman and Uriah Hall are going to do a rematch that they had from back in, I think, either 2010 or 2011 at a local, I forget the name of the league, CFC or something like that. It was in East Coast, New Jersey, New York area, small regional promotion. A lot of good guys came there, but I mean, it's crazy. Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman fought each other then, and these are the two guys. Chris Weidman be the first to finish Anderson Silva and take on that terrible turn after a 16-fight winning streak. And then Uriah Hall is the guy that ends Anderson Silva's UFC career. I mean, when you see these guys up and coming, don't write them off. Don't write them off. Who the hell is this guy? Look where we're at today. And Anderson Silva, if you were a fan back in the day, especially anywhere from 2007 when he started to really warm up after the Nate Marquardt fight, okay, all the way up to where he's playing games with Stephan Bonner at UFC 153. Silva was no joke, and both these guys took him out. So, this is an interesting crossroads because Uriah Hall was the guy on the regional scene back then. And Chris Weidman, I think he was only 2-0 coming in, all right? Well-credentialed wrestler. Everybody was afraid of his ground game. Sarah Longo, jiu-jitsu guy, okay? But Chris Weidman, that's a great thing about being a good wrestler. People are going to watch out for your level change. And as soon as you can duck something out and throw a big left hook, which Chris did in that fight, knocked Uriah Hall out, okay? I think that was Uriah Hall's first ever career loss, so he's going to want something sweet. I don't know what to make of this one either. I mean, if you're looking at who has done anything more recently in their streaks, okay, both of them are on winning streaks, but I mean, Chris Weidman has been up and down ever since that Luke Rockhold fight. Actually, Luke Rockhold has pretty much been down ever since then, too. None of these guys, they beat the shit out of each other. None of them have looked the same since. So, if Uriah Hall is going to stay back, stay patient, wait for everything to come to him, it's going to be a big mistake, in my opinion. I think for once, he's got to put on the pressure and just get after Chris Weidman and make Chris Weidman think, panic, and make a bad mistake. But otherwise, I think it's going to be Uriah Hall taking this one. All right. These aren't any official picks. This is just what the hell I'm feeling at the moment. But, I mean, I don't want to see either of these guys lose. I'm a big fan of both of them. I'm a huge fan of Weidman. Anyhow, and then you got Jimmy Crute taking on Anthony Smith. Jimmy Crute is an up-and-comer coming out of the Aussie area. And then you got Anthony Smith, the world's most beloved journeyman, okay? And the guy that just, should have just taken the DQ against John Jones. But he didn't. A man of honor. And that's why we love Anthony Smith. Look, I think this is Jimmy Crute's fight. Big come-out party for him to crack into the top 10 or the top 5 of the division. UFC's light heavyweight division is a far cry from the glory days of back where it was Tito, Vitor, Chuck, Randy, and then Rampage came in, and then Shogun Rua, then Forrest Griffin, then Rashad Evans. Holy shit, Machida. What an era that was. Whoo, what an era. But we're far from that now. Jan Blachowicz taking on Glover Teixeira in September. We're looking for a new contender at light heavyweight. One of these guys can emerge. Who the hell knows? But that's pretty much it for today. I didn't want to babble on for too long. So if you did enjoy the content here, look, I'm going to try to put out videos at least for these pay-per-views. Life is busy as hell. I don't know how it is for you after the pandemic or what you do for a living or anything. I work in logistics, okay? And we are busy as shit right now, okay? I can't even catch a breath. No one wants to pray that they get any slower. But sometimes I do, all right? So I don't have as much time to make these videos as I normally have, okay? I do have a family. I love my wife and my son. I love to spend as much time with them as I can, all right? The whole COVID thing. The world's gone mad. Everyone's going crazy. Mass hysteria. Cats and dogs living together. Whoo! Okay? But if you stick around on the channel, I'm going to do my best to make at least something for every pay-per-view. I don't know if I'll get a results and review out for this one. I intend on it. If it's by the time it's next Thursday or something like that, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Let me know in the comments what the hell you want to see. But please, if you do dig it, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you coming nonetheless. And until next time, enjoy the fights.